A very good afternoon to all of you. So hopefully my voice is clear. So today we are going to cover Z transform. Okay. So in the previous lectures of DTFT, I had discussed that how the DTFT is evaluated. Okay. How the DTFT is calculated for the signals which are non-divergent in nature, that is, which are convergent in nature. Okay. The convergence of those signals are easily proven, okay, and the convergent form are also easily obtained. So we will not go into the details of those parts. I will simply start the discussion on Z transforms. Okay. So the basic definition of Z transform in this lecture. So first of all, I want to shed light that in this lecture what we are going to cover today. Okay, where is the cursor? Wait a minute. Yes, now it will. Okay, there it is. So okay, this is the basic maths. Now I have to move forward. Just wait for a moment. Does it? Yes. The stability already are discussed. So I will come straight back to the topic of Z transform. So basically what happens is that there are certain signals which are not at all converging, okay, whose convergence is not possible. We cannot converge those signals. So what should we do? This is the problem that comes into our mind, that what should we do when we cannot converge certain signals. Okay, in that case, when the convergence is not possible, what can we do? We will simply do one thing. Okay, we will multiply the e to the power minus j omega n by r. You will remember that in the DTFT it is f of n into e to the power minus j omega n, where e to the power minus j omega will form the total factor. What we will do today is that we will simply multiply that factor by r so that z is formed. So now we are left with r into e to the power minus j omega n. I think this part is now becoming very clear. So that r which when multiplied will give us the real signal. R e to the power minus j omega n will give us the z part. So the z is obtained. Now the formula for Z transform says that it is xn z to the power minus n, okay, and summation is carried out for n varying from minus infinity to infinity. Obviously it is represented in the form of x of n, so it clearly shows that it is a discrete signal. X of n represents the signal is in the discrete domain. Now I will take one example of how we can obtain the Z transform. Consider the signal a n u of n, okay, that is I think shown here, a n u of n. Now as I had already discussed the formula, that is x of z summation n equals to minus infinity to infinity x of n z to the power minus n. So when we will replace xn by a to the power n u of n is into z to the power minus n, and then we will carry out the summation. So now the summation will be carried on. You can very well see that a and z, I will try to explain it clearly. A and z terms can be plugged and n can be taken out, so it becomes a z to the power minus 1, a z to the power minus 1 whole to the power n, and this un hasn't disappeared, okay, it has been implicated in the form of limits for the summation. So now the summation which was going from minus infinity to infinity, now it will go from 0 to infinity. Okay, I think this point is very much clear. that will go from 0 to infinity. Now as it is going from 0 to infinity, it is az inverse to the power n. Now do one thing. Let's keep this az to the power minus 1 in the range of less than infinity. Az to the power minus 1 summation n has to be within the range of infinity if this signal has to converge. Look at this. This whole this summation has to be convergent in nature. Then only the summation can be equated. That is, it has to be finite. And if it has to be finite, then this will az inverse, the whole mod has to be less than 1. How I am coming to this point? Because when I will expand this term az inverse raised to the power n, the expansion will give me 1. Listen very carefully. When you will put n equals to 0, then it will become 1. Then az inverse 2, az inverse 3. So this will form a GP and it will go from 0 to infinity. So it is an infinite GP. So now we are here to evaluate the infinite GP. How this infinite GP can be evaluated? The question arises that how we are going to evaluate this infinite GP. So the answer is very simple. If the common ratio, common difference, that is az to the power minus 1 is less than 1, then this GP is going to converge for sure. Yes, then the nature of this GP will be convergent for sure. Okay, so now we will put that in the form of sum of an infinite GP. That becomes 1 upon 1 minus az inverse a by z. So this becomes z upon z minus a, where mod of z is greater than mod of a. Is that clear? Now this point is very much clear. Now as mod of z is greater than mod of a, so xz becomes 1 upon 1 minus z inverse. Okay, now the formula is 1 upon 1 minus az inverse, that is the xz. So we can do one more thing. If we substitute a equals to 1, so this will become 1 upon 1 minus z inverse. That's it now. This will become 1 upon 1 minus z inverse. Now what to do next? Now it is very simple. As it has become 1 upon 1 minus z inverse and it is multiplied by un. So the z transform of un is 1 upon 1 minus z inverse, and this is possible only for mod of z greater than 1. For mod of z greater than 1. Is it clear? Okay. Now a very important thing, very important thing that needs to be taken care of is that if you look at this system, that is xz equals to z upon z minus a, then it will show you that it is having a pole at z equals to a and a 0 at z equals to 0. Is it clear? Are you getting it? It is having a pole at z equals to a and a 0 at z equals to 0. Okay. Now the pole 0 plot for this can be shown here. This is the pole 0 plot. The 0 is at origin and the pole is at z equals to a. Okay, I think this is very much clear. Now nothing more is left to discuss. In this first article of a z transform, I had discussed the pole, the 0, the transfer function, okay, the summation, okay, ROC. One more thing. In this case, the ROC is always given in the form of mod of z greater than mod of a. Mod of z is greater than mod of a. It means that under root x square plus y, because z is a complex number. So x of iota y, the mod of this signal should be greater than a. So x square plus y square, the whole square should be greater than a. So it gives you x square plus y square greater than a. It means it is going to be a circle which is represented here. More upon this on the next lecture. Thank you.